Today we're checking out this Squier Classic Vibe 50s Telecaster, so stay tuned. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome to our two-part series on the Squier Classic Vibe 50s Telecaster. Now we're going to take this guitar apart, we're going to look inside of it, and of course we're going to listen to the guitar to hear what it sounds like. And then I'm going to give you my opinion on this guitar, and I'm going to give you some pros and cons, and then I'm going to make some modifications to this guitar to take this guitar to the next level. So let's talk about the specs of this guitar. Starting up top, we have 6 unbranded vintage style tuning keys. We have a single string tree. We have a bone nut. We have 21 tall narrow frets. We have a 9.5 C-shaped maple neck. Now, moving on up to the body. Starting off, we have a pine wood body. We have that beautiful black pickguard. We have 2 Fender designed Alnico pickups. And we have your standard Telecaster layout with your volume, your tone, and your selector switch, your 3-way selector switch. Now, once I took this off, this control plate off, and I flipped it upside down, and as you can see, it does have the smaller size pots. But these pots operate very smoothly, so does the switch. And actually it's really good because they're not too easy to turn, but they're not too hard to turn, so they're actually pretty good. Now when we put this guitar on the scale, you can see that it comes in at a hefty 9.6 pounds. As for first impressions, 2 things jump out at me for this guitar. First is the polyurethane finish on the neck. It is a heavy polyurethane finish and you definitely notice it. It will create a little bit of stiction on your hand, but it's nothing you can't get used to. Number 2 is the weight of this guitar. You definitely feel that 9.6 pounds. It is a very heavy guitar. Now with that being said, let's plug this thing up and let's see what it sounds like. Hey everybody, before we forget, go ahead and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out with YouTube and it helps us bring you this content. Okay, so there you have it. Now let's talk about some pros and cons. Pro number 1, bang for your buck. You would be hard pressed to find a guitar that you get so much for so little money. And that's true with the entire Squier Classic Vibe line. And this one is no exception. And as a matter of fact, in recent days, Sweetwater has just dropped the price on this guitar from an already good $460 down to $420. So it makes this an even better value. Pro number 2, build quality. There's no doubt in my mind that this guitar would hold up under heavy playing. It is a very well built guitar and it's very sturdy. Pro number 3, this is truly a pull it out of the box and play guitar. You don't need to change anything on this guitar. It is play ready. You can take this right up on stage and play it. Nothing needs to be changed on this guitar. However, If you do want to upgrade this guitar, the price is such that even if you upgrade it and you put high-end electronics and you put high-end tuning keys on it, you're still way under what you would pay for any American Telecaster. Here's a second kicker to that, is that a lot of cheap guitars are not worth upgrading. They're just not built good, they're flimsy, everything. They're just not worth upgrading. This guitar is an excellent bass for upgrading if you want to do it, because it's built great. Everything about this guitar feels quality. So it is an excellent guitar to upgrade if you feel the need. Next, the cons. There's 3 things on this guitar that I could see that may turn you off a little bit. And number 1, that is the very, very heavy polyurethane fit. Matter of fact, it's the heaviest one I've ever seen on any guitar. The very heavy polyurethane finish that is on this neck, which causes a little stiction for the hand. And the body is also covered in a very thick polyurethane finish. Now, con number 2, I think the polyurethane finish actually has something to do with con number 2. This is a very heavy guitar, and it's really something to think about, because when you strap this on, if you were to try to play this all night, you better have a strong back. So that's con number 2. Con number 3. With these uncompensated barrel saddles, the intonation is a little bit suspect. There's ways of fixing that, but that is just something to be aware of. Now for modifications, there's 3 things that I've identified on this guitar that I want to change. And I think it will take this guitar from an already really good guitar to a great guitar, a guitar you'd want to keep for life. Number 1, this disc style string tree. I don't really care for that. I've had problems with them before, so it's going to go. And I'm going to replace it with a barrel style string tree that I think will have a little bit more functionality, and it'll look cool. Number 2, these barrel saddles, they do a good job. I put the tuner on them, and they are just a slightly out as far as intonation. But I'm going to put some Godot in tune brass style compensated saddles there, and I think it'll just look cooler, and plus I think it'll do a little bit better job as far as intonation. Now the third is this jack plate. Now this jack plate, as you know, this is not a problem with just a Classic Vibe, but with all Telecasters. The switch almost hits the volume knob, so we're going to fix that. We're going to remedy that, and I'm going to show you what we're going to do. So you may have seen these before. This is an improved control plate for the Telecaster, and this one is made by True Custom Shop. Now I know Rock Rabbit has one, and I actually think they're the ones that actually came out with the first one. And what it does is it slightly tilts the selector switch so that it's kind of out of the way of the volume knob. And they actually move the volume knob back, but I think it's only like a millimeter. And I want to go a little further than that. So what I did was I purchased just a blank. It's just a blank control plate, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it to the machine shop, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to improve on the already improved plate. I'm just going to take it a little bit farther, so stay tuned for that. It's going to be really cool. So stay tuned to the channel for part 2 of this video, to where we are going to implement those modifications that we talked about. I'm going to show you how I did them, and then we're going to fire this thing back up, and we're going to check out our new improved Classic Vibe. Well, that's all the time we have today, so we'll see you again real soon in the Guitar Cranny.